Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a bluegrass icon was laid to rest yesterday, but his music will live on in one last album coming out later this year. And one transportation crew was recognized for their heroic work for saving a man trapped underneath a gravel truck.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
6 o'clock here on this Friday morning, and a good morning to you. Brandon Robinson here doing a little bit of double duty for you today, and we're going to get you updated on the forecast here on this Friday, July 7th. Let's take a look at the cameras, and again, it's a little bit foggy up near Moorhead along I-64 this morning, so be careful if you're traveling. Currently 70 up that way, one of the warmest spots in our region. Look at that dew point, look at that humidity. That's soupy out there, but that front is stalled out right now off to our west. Hopefully when it moves through here, that's going to take our dew points down. Won't do much for our air temperatures, but it will take those dew points down just a little bit as we hit the next couple of days. Now, 60s and 70s out there this morning, like an oldie station around here. 64 in Clintwood and 64 in Wise and Hazard as well. 70 in Ashland, Moorhead, Harlan, Jonesville, Somerset, and 73 in Monticello this morning. Well, the next 12 hours, we're looking at about 86 today, so not too much cooler on the air temperature. But once we get past that front, the dew point should go down and it should feel a little bit cooler out there, even though the temperature about 2 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. Back to news this morning. Icon Bobby Osborne was laid to rest yesterday at a service in Nashville. He was 91 years old when he died. The Leslie County native was performing and teaching here in the mountains until the very end, and his music will live on. Ellie Bird from our sister station WVLT shows us the people who are responsible for making the legend's last recording ever.
First-generation bluegrass legend Bobby Osborne was laid to rest near Nashville. Before his unexpected passing, he was working on an album with C.J. Lewandowski. Little did they know it would be his last.
It's sad. It's a really sad day, but also it's really good to know that there's still new Bobby Osborne music that's going to come out.
During one of the sessions, Lewandowski says Osborne said out of the blue, "How about we re-record Rocky Top?" And they did, 55 years later.
He was in there and he didn't know that his microphone was on, and he was just kind of going over the words and humming and warming his voice up. And he said, well, this, and he's just talking to himself. Well, this will probably be the last time I record this one.
The album was recorded in Nashville since Osborne couldn't travel far. But Dave Maggard, the owner of Sound Biscuit Studios in Sevier County, is working on the tracks. He says it's an honor to work with a pioneer in bluegrass.
It's hard to explain. There's a lot to it, and we all kind of I think we excel in certain areas, and there's certain things that I do that I think helped to make this what it's going to be.
The album will include at least 9 tracks, 8 of them including Osborne's voice. Lewandowski says he and Osborne were best friends, even giving him his tour bus. He says this project is Osborne's last gift to him.
Hopefully I get to record music for the rest of my life, but there's never going to be a project like this ever again that's going to be this meaningful to me and important. This is...
He says to expect some special guests to be featured on the album who meant a lot to Osborne. The album is set to be released on December 7th, Osborne's birthday. In Knoxville, I'm Ellie Bird, WVLT News.
What a legend. The project was set to be released on June 30th, but Osborne passed on the 27th. The album in December will include his last ever version of Rocky Top that was recorded. Members of the local Kentucky Transportation Cabinet crew from Knott County were recognized yesterday for their efforts in saving a life. In late May, a crash involving a gravel truck seriously injured Hunter McLeod of Johnson County. But thanks to the heroic actions of KYTC Crew 344, McLeod survived.
It's just it's a long road, but I'm very blessed. In 6 weeks, it's already completely healed up. I'm doing just about anything I want to do. I race. I turned a couple laps the other night. It's just it's crazy to think that in 6 weeks how far the good Lord can bring you.
Amen to that. The crew received heroic safety awards from the Transportation Cabinet, as well as a Highway Heroes Award from the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety. Following last year's flooding and other incidents in Perry County in the past year, road projects in the area have taken longer than usual to complete. Judge Executive Scott Alexander says the county is behind on blacktopping and various road projects, adding that people in the community are wondering when those projects will be completed.
Disaster hit, and therefore we need a lot more blacktop put down on county roads. And then this year as well, the plant caught on fire and was down for a few weeks. So yes, we're behind on blacktopping of the county roads.
Alexander also says the funding states they can only resurface already surfaced roads. L&B Reptiles opened their store in Whitesburg back in December of 2021, but the historic flooding nearly 1 year ago destroyed the entire shop. Now owner Lenny Holbrook has relocated to Perry County. He says he was torn about what to do after the disaster.
It was heartbreaking. You know, it took everything that I had to put that store there, you know, all financial responsibilities and things like that. And, you know, when it happened, I didn't even know if I wanted to start back, right? It was just a blow to me personally.
Holbrook says he has been overwhelmed with support and cannot wait to see what the future has in store for his store in Hazard. All right, a partnership between 6 different businesses in 5 different counties is piecing together something different, asking quilters to be part of the fun. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more about the Quilting in the Mountains shop hop.
Every quilt has a story.
The stories behind the stitches are what make quilting such an Appalachian pastime.
I think it just goes back to our grandmothers. You know, my grandmother taught me how to sew.
And businesses in Eastern Kentucky are patching together a partnership to keep the art alive.
It's like we all 6 shops just come together and made the one quilt.
6 shops from 5 different counties are joining forces for the Quilting in the Mountains shop hop. Each store selling 2 quilt blocks, which can be combined with the blocks from the other stores to create a seasonal spread.
It's really nice to get their perspective on how their business is running also, and how things just come together. I mean, it's almost seamless.
While every quilt will look a little different, they will share a common thread: supporting small businesses and sharing stories.
Appalachians are very hardworking people, and it shows in their quilt.
The shop hop kicks off with a pop-up at the Appalachian Center for the Arts, bringing the stores together to display some of the other quilts they've created.
Quilt making it's a beautiful art, and it's just takes so much time and skill to do it. And when you really look at quilts, you can see all of the work that's gone into it, which is very Appalachian, I think.
Mending together a mountain celebration.
It's just an Appalachian staple.
To cover the region in one of its oldest art forms. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
And you can find out more about the businesses participating and how you can craft your own quilt over on our website, WYMT.com. 6:08 here on this Friday morning. Some fog out there across the region. 0 visibility or close to it in many locations. We've seen the Moorhead camera. We'll show you the Hazard camera again here in a minute. Hopefully the London Corbin Airport camera as well. So again, lots of fog out there this morning. Be careful. Take it easy as you're traveling across the region. There's Pikeville at the US 119, US 23 intersection. 67 over there. You can see the fog back off in the distance. Of course, the airport over that way not showing a whole lot of fog this morning. One of the few areas not showing that. Temperatures down to 63 in Clintwood, 70 on the other end of the scale in Ashland, Moorhead, Harlan, Jonesville, and 73 there in Monticello. Somerset dropped below the 70-degree mark there for the first time this morning. 86 this afternoon. Clouds, sunshine, stray rain chances all on the way as a front continues to pass by. Not a whole lot of cold air, but things should be a little bit more comfortable, at least for a couple of days heading into the weekend. Thanks for joining us here on Mountain News this morning, and more news is on the way. Coming up, a wind farm project approved by the Biden administration will take place off of the coast of New Jersey. We'll have more on what it could mean for you.